Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video of the series learning how to use Inkscape. In this video we're going to review and learn the basic stuff to use Inkscape, and then we will move on more crazy stuff. So first things first, when you open Inkscape you will have by default selected this tool. This is the Select and Transform Objects tool, and it will let you select anything that is in the workspace. Now we don't have anything in the workspace, so okay, it's just a clicker, it's just the pointer of my mouse. If you want to move around in the workspace, you can do it by holding the middle button of your mouse and dragging the mouse. You can also do it by pressing space while moving the mouse. You can scroll with your mouse scroll to move your screen vertically. You can hold Ctrl and move your scroll to zoom in and zoom out, and you can hold Shift while scrolling to move horizontally. So sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Okay, so let's see now how to create some shapes. The first shape we're going to create or object is a square or rectangle. Okay, so to do that we have to go here to the side toolbar and select the Create Rectangle and Squares tool. You can also do it by clicking F4. So in order to do that, you just have to use your left button of the mouse, click and maintain, and then drag around the workspace. Okay, if you want it to be a perfect square, you can hold Ctrl while you're doing this and drag the shape, the square, diagonally, trying to do it always in the opposite side of the corner where you start creating the rectangle. Okay, so I start here. I'm going to start diagonally to the opposite side, and that will give me a perfect square. If I don't do it like that, but I still hold Ctrl, I can have other shapes that have some kind of perfect proportions, but they are not squares. So once I release the button, I have my new shape, and at this moment it is showing me some handles to modify the shape, two squares at the corners that will let me scale it. Woo! Like that. Also, if I scale it by pressing Ctrl, I can maintain its proportion. And if you see here, you will see two circles. Okay, well, I see one. I'm not lying, but the thing is, there are two. Because if I click and move the one I'm seeing, I will see there was another one hidden below it. So these handles let me change the appearance of the corners, making them more smooth or like circles. And by moving one, I can do it just having the overall shape change in a homogeneous way, so it looks more like a circle as I move more into the middle. But if I use the other one, I can do it. I can do other kind of curves that take into account the distance from the corner. In any way, if I want to be sure that both circles are at the same distance of the corner and making it that way like a perfect arc, I can just hold Ctrl and play with these handles. So I'm going to left it there. Okay, so I selected the Select and Transform tool by pressing F1, but you can do it by clicking here. Okay, and when I did that, the information or the modifier shown to me for this shape change to these arrows. These arrows let me change the size of the rectangle. Okay, Ctrl Z or Ctrl C there to undo the changes, and I can do it in the direction they are pointing to. And if I maintain Ctrl, I can do this change keeping the proportions of the original shape. Bear in mind that if it's not a square and I use Ctrl, it will keep the original proportions. It will not transform it into a square. Okay. If I want to change to the other mode again, for instance, I don't want for this shape to have these round edges, or corner, I can double click it fast enough to go to the edit mode, and I can correct that shape, and then I press F1 again. While on this transform and create tool, you can click again slowly so it doesn't go to the edit mode, and you will be able to see that the handle changed. So I can now rotate the shape, or I can scale it in this way. Woo! As before, if I hold Ctrl, I will find some predetermined distortions or scales, and if I rotate it while pressing Ctrl, I can do it in fixed angles, degrees, I'm sorry. So like, I don't know. let me figure out which angles are this one. I know that there's a like 41 one and 90. This is like a 91 and 181. So it will let you rotate it in a more precise way. So sorry about that. So if I wanted to move it in this workspace, I just have to click, hold, and move it around. That is that easy. Okay. And if I want to modify its appearance, I just can go here to Object, Fill and Stroke, and I will see these options here. Well, not necessarily here. This is my layout. This window may appear in other part for you, but the thing is, I will have the Fill tab that will let me change its color, the Stroke Paint tab that will let me change the color of the stroke, and the stroke style that will let me change the style. So how thick it is and the kind of outline it is using, etc. So we're not going to go into details here. We're going to see that in another video, but you can play with it for now. So now that we know that, let's see some other ways to modify this rectangle or square, because we talk about the Ctrl key, but we can also use the Shift key. So the Shift key will let us modify the scale, not fixing its proportion, but relative to its center. So before this, the anchor point was set on the opposite side of where I was modifying the shape. But while holding Shift, it will always do it by positioning the anchor point in the center of the shape. Now, if you want to do this, but at the same time maintaining the proportion of your original shape, you can press Ctrl and you will be able to do it. So now I'm modifying the square relative to its center, but maintaining the proportion. The other thing we can do is pressing Alt. So Alt is weird. It do some crazy changes, like very abrupt, and that is because, if I'm not mistaken, it has some kind of exponential steps that is taking, always doing the double of the side. So if you see the double, or it's dividing by 2. So let's see. I have this this shape here. If I press Alt and this handle, if I go to the left, it will just cut half of it, or it will reduce it to its half. But if I go to the other side, it will make it twice as long. So it's also a very useful tool. I don't use it that much, but it's useful. And if I want to, I can also press Shift at the same time, and now I'm carrying out these kind of changes by having the center as the anchor point. Okay, so there you have it. Shift, Alt, and Ctrl to modify this shape. There are other ways to change your shape, size, and appearance, but now we are going to keep it simple. So we're going to see just one more thing, and this is the position of your object in the workspace relative to the workspace, and the size of the shape, the overall size. So now we see that its width and its height has the same size, so we know it's a square. But we could just change it either by using the arrows or just writing a number on it. So for instance, I'm going to return it to be a perfect circle. There it is. I'm working on pixels, by the way. You can change the unit of measure here. And well, there it is. You can change it like that. If you want to be sure that any change that you make to its size, either by changing the number here or by using the handles, these ones, not these ones, you can lock the proportion of your shape, and then you don't have to press Ctrl, for instance, to keep it always in the same proportion. But at that point, if you use, for instance, Alt, it will change its proportion. Okay, so Alt overrides this lock. But this helps a lot if you want to just reduce it and be sure that you always be respecting the ratio or the proportion of your object. Okay, so we have all of this, all of that, and we're now going to see how to do a circle. And the circles work in the same way for most of it. So now I'm creating a perfect circle, but I could create ellipses. So when I create a circle, I will see two squares that will let me scale the shape, and circles that will let me change the shape of the circle, the type of shape. So if I grab one and start dragging it, you will see that I just slice it. I destroyed it. And I can create like a Pac-Man shape, or like if you want to do a graph or a piece of slice, whatever. And I'm doing this by dragging and maintaining this mouse outside of the circle area. Because if I go inside, it will change to this. This is another kind of modification you can do of the shape. And you can move both handles if you want. And you can go from one type of modification to the other by moving your mouse out or inside the shape. Also, you can do that by clicking here. Okay, so you can do it like an arc, or you can do it like a segment. Okay, it may happen that you just want for this circle to look like a circle, and you will try to make both circles like these modifiers to be together again, and you will be unable to do it, and it's very frustrating. It's like, why? So the way to do it is just going here and pressing this little button here. Boom! Now we have a perfect circle again. And you can do this with the ellipses also. It's not restrained to perfect circles. Okay, you can play with the modifiers, like with the Ctrl key, Alt key, Shift key to see what it happens. Woo! That's crazy, yo! That's by pressing Shift. But the thing is, these keys that I told you about, Shift key, Ctrl key, Alt key, will always be very useful, regardless of what kind of shape or object you're working with. Okay, so get used to them. They are very powerful and very useful. So you can change its appearance just like you could do it with the rectangle. You can change its size by working here. But yeah, bear in mind that when you are seeing this, you will always see the total square area that your shape will use. So you can see here, if we do a zoom in, that okay, the circle is using this area, and this is all of this is empty, but still, when showing you the overall size of it, it will always be inside a square and or rectangle. Okay, so if you change these dimensions, it will be taking in account this square space that the shape is using. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this very basic tutorial helps you. Give it a like if you like, subscribe if you like, it will help me a lot. Please share. I know that this video may be very basic, but we're going to go in deep little by little. Okay, if you have any question, comment, suggestion, anything you want to share with us, with me and the other people that is watching this video, please comment below. Any feedback is appreciated. If you want, you can go to my Instagram page to see the designs I do, and also to my store. A lot of those designs are available as shirts and other stuff. So that's it for today, and I'll see you on the next video.